Hey, hey, my creative friends. It is time to think about creativity. I'm Shannon from Shannon Studio, and we talk every day about something creative. And tonight I'm super excited because this is one thing I've been doing for, I want to say 10 years. And it's been tested and tried by me, and so I know it's valuable. I know, and it's a big value. It's a big value thing that will get you started in your creative thinking. Yeah, it's that good. So let's get down to it. Okay, so what I have done over the years is I have, well, first let me read this one quote to you. And it's from Leo Widrich. Every day, every one of us is extremely creative. The trick is not to optimize for how to spark your creative spirit. The trick is to make sure you capture it whenever it happens. The key is to not let go of the teeny fragile ones, the ideas, once they enter our heads. So that is the thing. I noticed what was happening in my life was that I was writing down my ideas. Like, I'd have an idea. I'd grab a post-it note, jot down the idea, stack it and stick it on a wall or stack it somewhere. Then I'd have a piece of paper and I'd put it somewhere. Hey, Laureline. Yay, you're watching again. This is going to be a good one, Laureline. You're going to like this one. And with your business stuff and with all the things you have going on, I think you're going to like this one. Everybody should do this one. It doesn't even matter what kind of creativity you want to do. So I was putting everything on Post-it notes. I was writing it on paper. I was writing it in notebooks. And so I had notebooks everywhere and papers stacked. I literally had them stacked. I would collect them all over my desk and then stack them up. And it was making me crazy. And so finally, one day, I went and got a black book. And I liked these books in particular because they have a grid on pages. So for me, the grid is super, super good because I do a lot of little sketches in it for the ideas. I'll write down my ideas. So I have kept these different books for over 10 years. So I started out with just calling it my idea book. And the idea of this book, is that I would put any ideas in it. I would just write anything that dripped off my brain would end up on a page. And it's a place where instead of Post-it notes, instead of papers, instead of notebooks, instead of anywhere else, you have one place to put all your ideas. It's a place where you put it in unedited, raw. It doesn't matter. You're having a place to honor your ideas. You're giving it life, putting it right there. You're letting it have a breath. Even if it remains just a little whisper. Laureline says, I totally love this. Laureline, you really, once you start doing it, you are going to see the value of it. And it doesn't matter what kind of book. You can pick your book, the size, the shape, the types of pages, how thick they are, thin they are. The type of book does not matter. Just get some kind of book you love, something that you love the feel of it. Like I love the grid of this, and I got this at Barnes & Noble for like $10. And like I said, I have been doing this for at least 10 years and it has not led me astray. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But so you're not obligated by anything. Even if you write down your ideas, you don't have to do anything with them. It's just a place for them to stay. And You can sketch in it, write in it, you can scribble in here, you can draw, you can scrapbook, you can tape, you can tear things, you can do whatever. If you read something in a book that you think is good, it can be your thoughts or it can be somebody else's thoughts you put in there. Read something you think is exciting, put it in the book. You can write experiments, you've seen experiences you've had, impressions, excuses, even if you have an excuse of why you're not doing something. Just any kind of awareness in your idea book, in your idea notebook. So this I cannot say enough about how this will jumpstart your creativity. This is like your creative brain on paper. It's like you in paper form. So there are several people that have done this in history. I mean, Da Vinci in his notebooks, oh my goodness, I'm like, hello. But then there's also like George Lucas. He carried a pocket notebook with him at all times for taking down ideas, words, and plot angles on the go. Then there was Beethoven, and when Beethoven was enjoying a beer, he might suddenly pull out his notebook and write something in it and say, and quote, something just occurred to me, he would say, sticking it back into his pocket. So he had one way. Thomas Jefferson, he would write down and write down things and then transfer the data into 7 large notebooks that he had, each devoted to a different subject. I say start out with one. I only got other ones because at first I lost my first idea book. I had it in a box. I found it like years later, tucked in a box. I don't even know why it was there. So I got another one. And then I realized after a while, I needed other ones for other topics. So here is why. Okay, here's another thing. You need to write things down. I mean, you have a phone. And I actually do write ideas down on my phone, but then I go home and transfer those ideas into my black books. And I call them my black books just because they're black. That's real original. You could name yours something clever, but I call them my black books because I say to the kids, can you get me my black book? So then it just became my black book. But here's something that Marie Forleo says about writing things. Studies show that writing notes by hand helps you learn, understand, and retain new information more effectively than typing. More than that, though, writing by hand forces your brain to slow down and allows you to express your ideas and feelings more clearly and deeply. Putting pen to paper is a mystical way to access your most profound truths. So just the idea of that maybe we put them on our phone, I don't think it's the same thing. And when you start to see some other things I'm going to talk about in a couple days about note-taking, I think you're going to really like the idea of having something that you can have tangible paper, pen, old school, analog. So now, why do we do this? Besides, just having it in one place. It is a great organizational thing to have in one place. But let's see. It shows you that you do indeed have creative ideas. A lot of times people say, I don't have any creative ideas. And yet I know they do. I've been around them. I've heard them have creative ideas, yet they don't think I'm not creative. Yes, you are. You just haven't taken the time to register that you are. You haven't written it down tangibly to go, oh, that's an idea. Oh, I've had several ideas. So it teaches you that you have ideas and how to recognize them and how to honor them and put them on the page and make them have, like I said, have life. So it shows you that you have creative ideas. A lot of times you can take other people's thoughts and put them in your book. And then it starts to show you what you value of other people's thoughts and their creativity and what's important. Because you're not going to just jot down anything anybody else says. You're going to jot down the things that you find most important or the ideas that you want to build on, because it rings true to you. So second thing is you're going to find things that you value from others. So third, it's going to help you start to categorize. I know when I get so excited, I talk so fast. It's going to help you categorize your ideas. So you're going to, the reason I got more books was because I started to see I was having a lot of one topic. So like business, I was starting to have a lot of business. I was focusing on that intently. So I had another whole book on business and notes, and I write down things, and sometimes I have blank pages in between, but then I can have, when I want to go specifically for something business, I know where to go. I have it all in one book. So that's why it was important to me, because I started to see I have that. I also have a church book, because I started to notice, I write down a lot of church things, and I can also, what was happening is that I could take it with me and take it with me places, because I often had to speak to people. I'd often have to speak at leadership meetings or on topics and on doctrine, and so I would have these, so then it was all in one place, and I could take it with me, and I could have all my thoughts, and I could easily pick up a quote or pick up an idea or build on the ideas I've had for like analogies and things to be able to teach, metaphors, and to help teach people. So I have a church one, and then I have an art one where I would sketch out art ideas, and I would put in there what other artists were saying. And that was number 3, categorizing ideas. Number 4 is they're organized. They're all in one place for you. It's not like they're scattered all over your house, your desk, your purse. I would have ideas in my purse. So then it helps you get over the blank page. A lot of times when we go to create something, or you go to write something, if you're a writer or you're an artist, you have that blank page, and it's really debilitating for some people it's a big hurdle to get over. It doesn't have to be a hurdle, because you can get out your idea book and look through that, and it's already inspired you once. It's going to inspire you again. You just look at it and you go, I've wanted to do that. I haven't had time. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this thought. I'm going to develop this character. I'm going to sketch out this drawing. So it really helps you get over that blank page syndrome, blank page block when you go to actually do some things. And then I think this is number 5. I don't know. It's an idea incubation place. And what I mean by that is that you put the idea in there, and it might not be a fleshed out idea. Sometimes I have a 1-sentence idea. Sometimes I have an idea and it takes up 2 pages, and I've got it like fleshed out and everything. I got little sketches, and it's just really this solid idea. But then other times it's just like this fleeting thought, and I write it down. But because it's in there, it's in my subconscious, and so when I come across a book that has a quote on that thought, it's like, oh yeah, I have it back, and then I find it and I put it in. So it's a place where your initial thought can go in, and then you can add to it. That's part of the incubation. Another incubation thing is that if you the idea sits there, and you can see if it has merit over time. Sometimes our ideas, they don't really have merit, and you go, what was that? But it doesn't matter, because the book's mine. It's not for anybody else. But then you can see some of the ideas that are really strong, and that you want to take to the next level, to the next step, to take action on. Another thing in the incubation idea is that you start to connect different entries. So like I'll have a thought about this, or I'll come across something, and then I want to go create something. So for instance, I created these little kits, a compliment kit or a thankful kit. And what I do is I will pull different ideas out of the idea book and put them together. So you start to make connections, and that's part of original thinking, is where you start to connect those dots, those thoughts, and put them together. So it's the incubation part is that it's sitting there and it's incubating, like when an egg sits there. And then the other thing is that then it's there, you have the idea, and over time you've added to it and you found out that it's really good. But then it's there when the conditions are favorable for you to start to take it outside of the book, and you have it right there. And then it's all a matter of execution, because you've already thought out the idea. You've already molded over. You already went over and over it. You've seen it. You've given it a time test. You maybe have actually practiced some of it and then gone back and evaluated it and said, this is good, this isn't good. And so then you can take that idea and really flesh it out and give it a life. So the only thing I'd say that I think that are 3 things that you absolutely need to do when you do these things, and I've only done 1, but I'm now starting to do the other. Okay, 1 is that you give it a title. So for instance, let me see this one. So for instance, on the top right-hand corner is usually where I just put in, this is awkward, isn't it? I just put in on the top right-hand corner, I give it a title and a box. The top left-hand corner. So then when I'm skimming through them, I can like go, oh, compliment kits, that's where it is. And you can see I put a little checkbox there to be able to say, oh, I did that. I took that idea. So you kind of can do at a glance. Now you can figure however you want to do it, just title it somehow, because when you start to get a lot of pages, it starts to get kind of a little unwieldy if you don't have some kind of organization. So, but the thing I haven't done, which am starting to do, is add dates. Like when you put in the idea, add a date. I haven't done that before, and I've only recently started doing that. And then I put down annotate. And I can't remember why. Okay, maybe I'll remember that. Maybe you guys will know what I mean. Maybe you'll know what I mean by annotate. I have no idea why I wrote that down. So there's only really 2 things you have to do. And only 1 thing if you don't want to do the date. So you just have to write down, give it a title. And it's not a title you have to keep forever, just something you will recognize. So when you have an idea that you, like I said, want to add to it, you know what you're looking at. Okay, so let me think. Did I say everything I want to say about this idea? I cannot say enough about doing this idea. A lot of the things we've talked about have not been, do something. This is one idea that I say you shouldn't just skim over. That's why I'm doing it Wednesday. I'm doing it on Wednesday because I want you to kind of plan in the next couple days and go and do and get a notebook. I really want you to go get a notebook, because I'm going to show you some things over the next week that will include this notebook. So you don't even probably have to go get one. You probably have one at home. But I would say it's kind of fun to go out and have this little ritual of getting a book, something you love, something you like to look at. I mean, black is not that great, but I love the inside grid pages. So, and I could actually put something on there. So in the next couple of days, go out and get an idea book and start just writing anything you want in it. And let's see where it goes. I cannot recommend it enough, and I think you will love it too. And Laureline loves the idea, so I think we ought to do it. And in the next few days, like I said, I'm going to show you some things, and then I think you're going to go, shoot, I wish I would have gone out and gotten a book. So creativity, that's the tip. Go get out and get a notebook, idea notebook. Remember, you have a creative heartbeat. Listen for it. And I will see you tomorrow. And I am super excited about this idea. and I hope you are too. And we will talk more about creativity tomorrow. And I'll see you. Bye.